In this video, I explain how Optimism scales Ethereum. If you'd like to see more content like this, please like and subscribe, as I'll be creating more crypto-related videos. Background. Optimism used to be Plasma Group, which started in January of 2019. They created a simple way to deploy your own Plasma chains. They created a spec for Plasma, and they also shipped a general-purpose design in February of 2019. They also created a blog post about Plasma architecture in March of 2019. Then in June of 2019, John Adler, who's a researcher at Consensus, spec'd out a technique called minimal viable merge consensus. Then in July of 2019, the Plasma Group introduced the OVM. What is the OVM? The Optimistic Virtual Machine, OVM, is a virtual machine designed to support all Layer 2 protocols. Call it the Layer 1 of Layer 2s. Carl explains this better in this August 2019 post. To summarize, Optimistic Rollups is a construction which enables autonomous smart contracts on Layer 2 using the Optimistic Virtual Machine. The construction borrows heavily from both Plasma and ZK rollup designs and builds on shadow chains as described by Vitalik. This construction resembles Plasma but trades off some scalability to enable running fully general smart contracts in Layer 2 secured by Layer 1. So how do they work? A developer writes a Solidity contract. Then the developer sends a transaction off-chain to a bonded aggregator, which is a Layer 2 block producer which deploys the contract. The aggregator locally applies the transaction and computes the new state root. The aggregator submits an Ethereum transaction paying gas, which contains the transaction and state root in Optimistic Rollup block. If anyone downloads the block and finds it invalid, they can prove it and the individual gets slashed and the prover would get rewarded. And that's it. So how fast can they scale? Between 100 to 2,000 transactions per second. But for specifics, with ECDSA signature, about 100 without EIP 2028 and 450 with EIP 2028 coming October 2019. And with BLS signatures and SNARK signatures, 400 to 2,000 transactions per second. Plasma and Optimistic Rollups share a lot of similarities. With Plasma, you can see that there's no availability oracle for block body. There's cheap and extremely high transactions per second, and the validity proofs are more difficult. With Optimistic Rollups, there's a trusted availability oracle. It's cheaper than main chain and can be used for Ethereum 2.0, and has easy validity proof verification. And with the OVM, 80% of this is shared infrastructure. Eventually, the Plasma Group was shut down, along with work on Plasma, on January 9th of 2020. Below in this post, it says, "This week marks the first anniversary of Plasma Group. It will also be the last." Then Optimism was born 1 week later. Hello world, we are proud to announce Optimism. So what is Optimism? Optimism is a public benefit corporation dedicated to scaling Ethereum in a way that enshrines fair access to public goods. Their technology is Optimistic Rollups, a solution that scales general smart contracts and enables instant transactions on Ethereum. Optimistic Rollups are the first Layer 2 scaling solution that enables usability, fast, low-cost smart contract transactions. Familiar workflows. Developers can migrate existing Ethereum contracts without breaking them. Money Legos. Seamless interoperability between dApps and smart contracts. The team built a demo of Unipig, which is done with Optimistic Rollups in collaboration with Uniswap. In this demo, you can see me selecting Buy, choosing Max, and then selecting Swap. The transaction happens in less than a second. That's the power of Optimistic Rollups. Public goods. The Optimism team believes that Layer 2 itself represents a unique opportunity for builders to access capital to fund public goods beyond altruism and donations, like Gitcoin. In particular, it allows them to re-architect the network's economics and close the loop. Value produced by the network can be recycled to grow and sustain it. Miners on Ethereum make money through fees and block rewards. They also have an extremely profitable ability to determine transaction ordering, which applies to Layer 2 as well. The Optimism team is proposing a mechanism that extracts some of that value back into the ecosystem. Carl explains this in a recent ETH research post. Let's read his post. Block miners are nominally rewarded for their services for some combination of block rewards and transaction fees. However, being a block producer tasked with producing a block gives you a lot of power within the span of that block, letting you arbitrarily reorder transactions, insert your own transaction before or after other transactions, and delay transactions outright until the next block. And it turns out that there is a lot of ways that one can earn money from this. For example, one can front-run decentralized exchanges, both Uniswap style and the order book variety, be the first to claim whistleblower rewards, have a favorable position in ICOs, as well as many other forms of mild manipulation of applications. Recent research shows that the revenue that can be extracted from this, called miner extractable value, or MEV, is potentially significantly higher than the transaction fee revenue. Frequent batch auctions are one traditional response to market manipulation by reordering. In an FBA, instead of processing transactions as they come, a market gathers all transactions submitted within the same time span, reorders them according to a new standard algorithm that does not depend on order of submission, and then processes them in a new order. This makes micro-scaling timing manipulation nearly irrelevant. We propose a technique in a similar spirit to how FBAs remove micro-scale timing manipulation, with one major difference. In an FBA, there is only one application, and so there is only one natural optimal order for transactions, orders. Process them in the order of price. In a general purpose blockchain, there are many applications with arbitrary properties, and so coming up with a correct order is virtually impossible for a fixed algorithm. Instead, we simply auction off the right to reorder transactions with an n block window to the highest bidder. That is, we create an MEV auction, MEVA, in which the winner of the auction has the right to reorder submitted transactions and insert their own, as long as they do not delay any specific transaction for more than n blocks. Lastly, the Optimism team raised $3.5 million from Paradigm and IDEO Collab Ventures. For context, Paradigm has funded teams like Numerai, Tendermint, which is the team behind Cosmos, Tagomi, Veal, and Starkware Industries. Want to learn more about Optimism? Visit their website at optimism.io and check out the links in the description for more information. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next one.